Hello. I was taken off to Facebook and here I am. Managing that I'm live. So hello, welcome to 1212 Activation with Anjahlia Mareesa Sheehan. What an amazing time it is in our lives. Wow. I'm just amazed and flabbergasted what I'm going to share with you, because many of you are feeling this kind of movement from within inside you and this sense of that something's breaking loose. So today we're going to speak a little bit in my personality about what's happening in my personal viewpoint. And also we're going to be, I've pre-channeled from my team that's working with us, our Ascended Masters team. And I'll read from that and a higher frequency. And we'll be also working with MERKABA activation. Let me just get the name of it. A SEER MERKABA activation for 1212 Dance of the Cosmos. Beautiful name, right? And we'll be going on a journey, SEER journey, to behold the Christed I Am signature. And we're going to be locating the signature on this very expanded SEER journey where I'll be channeling my vision, my visionary movement. And what I've found is these channelings bring us through these gateways, these activations. It's like we're holding all the realms open together in our group consciousness, our collective consciousness, and we're shifting things. Especially the MERKABA activation is something that I've been receiving for quite a while, and in my SEER journeys, my retreats. And this MERKABA is who we are, but what they're giving us is, in this MERKABA activation, is like a vehicle, where our vehicle of our MERKABA is basically made up of these amazing geometries that are our signature. And this is kind of like a Christed gift that helps us in this transit. And we can journey through these gateways, through the problems of becoming the new human, releasing the old paradigm from the Piscean era, opening into this golden Aquarian age. It's been like, we call promise, at least I receive it's the promise that inside of us, we each know something is better. Something is, it has to happen. So we're in what's called the state of ascension. And our planet Earth, Mother Gaia, is going through ascension, and we are going through ascension with her equally. And this isn't a time of the fall, of the separation again, of the closure of a time period through a great disaster. And some of the past recent time periods, we've been moving through a lot of these different miasms of our past, which I often call bleed throughs, where, like, I personally remember the different falls, and there's a wound in each fall. Like in the Lemurian fall of that time period, that experiment, that project on Earth, let's say, it's the wound of love. And on the Atlantean experiment, it was the wound of light. And in the Egyptian experiment, it's the wound of power. So within our own personal transits, in our multidimensional level of our being, we need to navigate, basically. It's kind of like the MERKABA is going to help us navigate through these transits and these different woundings that we may be carrying. And we have many other woundings, like our ancestral woundings and the different levels of the upper realms and the lower realms. And we're as this ascension plan, we're merging heaven to earth, right? Heaven coming to earth. And we're working also very much so with the lower realms, which isn't something many people understand. And that's why it's very important with the work I share, is we work through these shadow aspects and the different levels of our own antagonism, let's call it, our own trauma that we're holding on that keeps replaying in our holographic world of the earth. And the lower realms are the earth, the inner earth, the middle earth, and there's voidal realms, and it goes into this deep heart of Mother Gaia. And we connect that lower realm with the higher realm, which is, you know, the higher celestial galactic universal realms, and the solar suns above us, the solar sun, the great central sun, the great central sun. And those solar suns are actually libraries, like I call them father sun libraries of light, and they're encoded. So the sunlight is an encodement, and that's why you may have heard about sun gazing. Sometimes we'll do sun gazing in our retreats, because we're being encoded with these loving solar father frequencies. And we bring them down our central pillar with our masculine pillar, our feminine pillar. And we open all of our chakras, bringing down that transit of the father sun's light, kind of like acknowledging our signature, who we are, and into bringing our mind into our heart, into the heart mind in Buddhism. And it's this place of expanded nature of ourselves through the different 7 directions: inside the flame, inside your heart, above, below, to the left, to the right, in back of you and in front of you. And that we'll probably work through that in our MERKABA activation. And then we bring it down further through the lower realms, the lower chakras, and into the heart of Gaia, the womb, the voidal mothers, the creation mothers, into the dark womb that is incredibly healing for us. And something else I want to share is this is really the time of the divine feminine return. And it's not like a feminine being, it's a principle of the divine feminine that has kind of stepped aside for the previous experiments of the polarization of this planet, and now has come back. And it's an amazing thing to have the feminine mother frequencies of the nurturance, like you might see Isis, you know, nurturing the baby, like with her breast. That's the kind of principle we're talking about. And this is returning to not only women, but to men. And it's essential for this plan of the balance of the masculine and the feminine, the balance of the heaven and the earth, the balance inside, without, above, below. So that's kind of what we're doing. And my cat wants out. So I'm going to take a breath, take a drink of water, and we're going to keep going. I have to let the cat out, right? It's important to drink a lot of water and to breathe. When we really begin going, let me remember to tell you about breathing. I'm going to just tell you now in case I forget. But breathing is almost like your level of permission. Like when we get into the MERKABA activation and our journey, like when you breathe, you're breathing in to whatever it is, even the things that are difficulties. In fact, especially for those. And in Buddhism, they call it Tanlin, but it's kind of like a shamanic practice where you breathe into that pain. And in a way, to me, it's witnessing all levels of ourselves so that we are honoring it. It's really it's an essential place for us to move into. And then we breathe it out. And we're holding you all the time in our work together. And from my presence, I feel like part of my job is to hold you in your Christed I am, who you are, your signature. And then the other things slough off, hopefully with grace and ease and joy is our, where we want to go. So that's a little outline of what we're going to do here in the space of an hour and a half. It may end up being, but at least an hour. And then I'm going to be recording this, so it'll be on the Facebook, it'll be in YouTube, be on my website. And so you can read it later, listen later. So here we go. I don't know if I introduced myself. My name is Anjahlia Mareesa Sheehan. Some people know me as Kate Loy, but my spiritual God presence name is Anjahlia Mareesa Sheehan. And saying it is like a mantra of my presence. And I call myself your favorite cosmic shaman because, right, why not? And here we are at the 1212 Gateway activation. And this is a really important year. I feel extremely grateful that we've reached it and that we've got through it. And very optimistic and happy about what's going to happen. So we're coming up to, well, I think first I'm going to talk about 1212, the number, because I love these master numbers, 1212. So 1212 is a triple gateway, and it's a completion code because we're in a universal year of 12-3. So 219, where did I write this down? 2019 adds up to 12. So we're at a trinity, that's the trinity, 12, 12, 12, which equals 333, which is a trinity number also, right? So this is called the last of the heaven gates that we're bringing in this trinity consciousness to the completion on earth, on the new earth, because we're letting go of the old earth. Because now I've got to let the cat in. This is her game with me and you now. You're part of the game, which we all are anyway. And so there's a kind of a 1212 gateway is going to offer a kind of collapse from within and without, releasing and letting go of the old so the new has a place to grow and flower. And you may find yourself really wanting to deep clean or move or shift out of old things, like finish up old contracts. And there's something that's wanting to be like opened up into within you, almost like a flower. And so with this 1212 portal, code portal, that when you enter in resonance with it, you activate your MERKABA field, your Merkabic field. And this aligns you to the human heart, connecting to the unity consciousness. And you're connecting to the golden light of the Christ energy, which will awaken divine love within you and activate new energy frequencies that will help you evolve with this new earth template. So we're stepping out of your comfort zone. If you haven't already been stepped out of your comfort zone, you'll be stepped out of your comfort zone. So it's a great time to be very loving with anything that comes up and really honor those dark and deep, shadowy aspects, the really insecure parts, instead of like repressing them. And this just happened for me also. It was like a wake-up call, like a new rebirth in a way, because the things that you've been battling, they're just going to come up. They're going to come up in your relationships. They're going to come up around you. They're going to come up with the sisterhood of light issues, a brotherhood of light issues, and just start examining them with love and let them, they're coming to teach you something. So ask them, like, what are you teaching? What's the gift of you? So instead of avoiding or just, kind of beating ourselves up more or blaming, especially the blaming thing, it's so easy, right? Let's take our own responsibility and move forward by this simple thing of really owning what's happening, what's the universal law of reflection for me that's loving. I really believe that there's all this blaming and this victim, that's really the past that we're growing out of. So really be aware of that and choose to step into the new place that you want to step into. And we'll speak a little bit more about that. But this is a time of karmic contracts that are in completion. So a lot of that is our old karma, and often they say, we're wiping the slate clean, and they call it, when I'm channeling it, Zep Tepi, almost like a great flood. It's a type of cleansing, purification, and it allows that fertilization of this new. And it's something that happens cyclically, but each time, because of the astrology going on, with the ascension, because this is all connected with the divine directive and the great divine directors and Father Time and Mother Earth, and this, the cosmology that we're part of, that we've lost connection with, that the indigenous still know and understand. So it's a time of surrender to these contracts and trusting the process, the letting go. And we're in the last months of Mercury, or those last months of the Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. We began this work which was October, with the core issues that were super intense, that were healing the masculine inner child and returning to innocence. And we'll be doing that in our activation. We're releasing the victim, the crucifixion, the persecution theme that was of 2019. And so if you've had those kind of feelings come up from this lifetime, other lifetimes, that's what it was. They're coming up to kind of cleanse and purge, and so we can liberate ourselves and others and be back into the balance and the order of our own prime directive, like our own mission purpose, right? So I'm just going to begin the pre-transmitted part. I'm just going to allow ourselves to take a deep breath in, as we're going to go into a higher frequency. And just keep breathing. If you find yourself pass out or something, you can put your tongue at the top of the roof of the mouth and just breathe. And that allows a microcosmic current to move through you and bring you back into this awareness that we want to have. And you can always also go out, because your higher self and divine presence are also receiving. So I'm going to call in our higher self and divine presence. So we call in all that are here before us. Holy Mother, Holy Father, God, Goddess, Source, all that there is, we call upon you now. And our Ascension, Ascended Masters team, Mother Gaia, your divine presence and higher self, your ancestors, my divine presence and higher self, my ancestors, our star ancestors, and all of our multidimensional totem. We call you forth. And let us send our heart beams to one another. And sit with an inner smile. Beloved ones, we are so honored and overjoyed to be here in this expression of God's will and consciousness coming to light. Behold the MERKABA of light before you. We ask you to regard this as an ascension tool that will anchor all the unresolved levels of your multidimensional bodies. Within these teachings are transmissions that are brought through the projector of Anjahlia as a commission to be of service for this important time of ascension. Anjahlia has brought forth many codes of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Today, she will bring forth a mission code of surrender, one that will assist to anchor your heavenly light and seek to diminish the transit of the lower shadow realms. Within these lower shadow realms are held captive old fears, traumas, and self-loathings, manipulations by negative forces to undermine your centering devices. Thus, the MERKABA of light is a translator code. Thus, the MERKABA of light is a translator code of your hemispheric transitions from separation to unity formatting that are encoded with this innate template of your light. It is the MERKABA transmission that will ignite your very core to illuminate beyond your fears, to eliminate all obstacles of your safe passage. This is all in perfect alignment with the stars and the full moon and the sun in Capricorn. The full transit of the solar suns moving through your own cosmology, as well as the lunar moon cycles, all are here, working through you to manage these new influxes of heightened cosmic attunement, the inner, the outer. We swim together in the great mystery, the pool of conclusions, into the mystery as we flow. We begin to shed that which no longer has purpose, but divides. It is the letting go of the separation, the lower that is under the superior and the higher. This is an age-old Piscean adage that is in the restoration process and the exploration of the freedom codes. During this transit of Saturn in Capricorn, much is shape-shifting, molding and shaping, the product of the new, the unfolding, and the yet to be imagined by mother, father, God, child. We will bless and consecrate the empty chalice that is offered. Drink from this chalice and know thyself, as it is your origin, and a new device of the self-awareness and the seership journey beyond. Beyond that is opening as we enter 2020. This gateway of 1212 takes precedence over anything else as it marks the new beginning. Be aware as we embark along this passageway to let go and surrender the old, so that the new might take hold as an egg in the womb of the Great Mother. Beginning this gestation that is collective and oriented to mind awakening out of the sleep realm and into the divinity, the dignity and the divinity of the new divine child, the new divine male child. the new divine feminine child of the new earth paradigm. More balanced, often androgynous, shapeshifters and changers that will make a difference. We join hands, calm in the one heart, one mind, and enter into our neurosomatic choices of acceleration. It is with the illumined, innocent heart of the child that you are guided with its innate brilliance to the new doorway, the 13th gateway of Gaia's garden, where we celebrate with the magical, the pure, the innocence that is our ultimate guide home. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be this transit home. We are now going to be guided in a SEER MERKABA activation, and then after that, a journey to behold the Christed I Am signature that's held within you, to locate this and to free it, to sing hallelujah. So here we go. SEER MERKABA activation for 1212, Dance of the Cosmos. So again, let's take a deep breath. And one more time, send our heart beams out across the world to all those who are with us and bring them back in. So we create this great inner circle that is ever bringing back in. And let's take a deep breath as we call in the one heart, the one mind, the one heart, one mind focus. Beloveds, we are, you are, all starlight and stardust. Let us begin by imagining this great flow between Mother, Father, Source. As we ask you to breathe this cosmic star flow in a circular manner and bring it into your heart, breathing into your heart center. Going into the centermost flame within your heart. Going down, down, down to the most tiny place inside your heart. Just continuing, go further, further, further. Down more. Finding that sweet spot. Going a little more. Sinking. A little more. Until it feels a settling. Good. To a place that has not yet been touched previously. Let us find time there. Spend time there. As we gather around with our ancestors and teams, let us send our heart beams again to this, our signatures, this very small flame that we have lovingly identified. Breathing into it, this tiny spark, as we acknowledge it. And let us blow our own most gentle, mothering breath, gently, just tiny little breaths into this tiny little spark. Again, breathing and breathe in our most compassionate, gentle Father's breath. Very gently as we try to ignite this tiny spark like a tiny flame. We see its innocence, its gentleness, its newness. We're simply nurturing this flame as it ignites in this new cycle. And that as we send our streams of love, bearing witness with our ancestors, with the ancient ones, with the magical realms, the beings, the magical realms, on this tiny one that is within us, begins to look up almost like in awe of the mother, the father. It begins to breathe. And as we watch like our tiny offspring, it begins to glow from our love, from our light, from this pulsation, from our hearts to its heart, its flame to our flame. Nurturing this glowing that comes from deep inside your own flame. Blowing now with a greater love that moves through you, with all your love, with the mother's love, with the father's love. Igniting this very essence that is so precious to us. And as we behold, breathing in, if you feel any tightness, breathing in, so the tightness, boof, or burping, boof, or yawning, boof, boof, or stretching, or somatically moving, boof, 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 boof. Igniting this very essence. And as we behold, we witness, this one takes on its own life. Beginning to spiral, to turn, to swirl, to dance. Boof, boof, boof. And if you so feel pulsed, move your own body, move your arms, stretch, feel, grow, give permission. Boosh. Burp. And you are stretching your own identity and this new one's. Breathing in to a greater spiral now. As this flame turns and spirals, whirls to dance, to its own dance of its own cosmos. And as it sits in its own cosmos, with a smile deep inside, becoming aware in its own sense of adoration, admiration, and acknowledgement that it is here, alive, ignited, ready for growth, to anchor inside the mother's womb. To shapeshift as you now turn into your own MERKABA, your MERKABA of holy light, of holy love, of holy balance and holy power. Here is the access and the activation of your next course forward to travel into the new light of the new day, of the dawning. And to be the love, the light, and creation empowerment for yourself, for others. To meet all traffic as your MERKABA, as a friend. To see yourself as the other. And know love lives there all the time. That love knows exactly who you are. Namaste. And we journey now together in the next part of our SEER journey to behold the Christed I Am signature, to locate and liberate. And you can take your MERKABA, and the MERKABA activation is like a meditation. You could do it again. I'll try to put it on as a separate part. You can take it along with you on your journey now. So here we are with Anjahlia Mareesa Sheehan as your guide, with the masters on your SEER journey to behold the Christ that I am signature, to locate and liberate on this 1212 gateway. As Lord Serapis Bey has chosen to join us, to be our guide, as the master who takes us on our starlight journey to the Tower of Babylon, where we make our way along its structure to the starry heavens above, where we will find our lost perspective as a vast galactic, celestial, universal being that we have never forgotten or left behind or abandoned or limited. That we come to find this passageway guiding us through an inner journey through the 1212 gateway, through the eclipse tunnel, through marshy terrain, and into a promised land. We will be encoded with our higher light frequency. It develops our inner insight from deep within our stardust beginning and to the stars, the moons, the solar suns. And that this opens a landscape of the never, never land. And we can free our own inner demons and shadows, shadow beings from their torment. We can bring them to the fruition of their Star of David, their MERKABA of light, their Metatronic tree of light codes, which free the previous entrainment, dissolve disillusion, and marry masculine and feminine, the queen and the king, the Hyros Gamos, message of unity and bliss. So let us journey now with Serapis Bey because we all, as a group, as a collective, form behind Serapis Bey. And position ourselves upon his mantle, his cape. As he takes us up to a launching pad where a great ship from the Galactic Federation, the Ashtar Command, the Ashtar, is awaiting us. As a gangplank is let down, We are hosted to walk upon this gangplank into the ship of light. Now we each carry an encodement signature on our heart that allows us entrance. It is like a feeling of going on a great arc, yet no one is left behind. We are all brought together for a higher good, a higher reason. And there's a deeper sense within our community that together we are bringing forth a greater field, a greater purpose as we walk upon this ship of light. That we are here to carry these light codes forward and yet give permission for others and their light codes. And so as we walk up, there's a sense of joy of our community. We walk up this gangplank into this enormous, vast ship of light. That as we walk into it, it is more like a territory. It is so vast. And it is more known to us as we move through a veil wall. It becomes transparent. That allows for our streaming mind to be conscious of the many times we have been on these beloved ships of light. That we are part of the commands, the officers, the teams that work here. These overlighting ones that are ascended and they have joined with us for our ascension. So allow your heart to expand, showing your code. As we stand, to acclimate, there is like a light spray, a mist that has like diamond glitter, very faint languages of light, encodements. And sensory information that opens up senses. That acclimate into these higher realms. And now you are looking for your place here, your seat. as if you were in a great dining hall with a great speaker or lecturer that is about to be announced. And you are to find your own place in this circular auditorium, concave and staggered seating in rings. It is all made of light and geometry. And there's many sounds and colors, almost more like a sonic game as a light begins to light where your seat is, and you are guided by beautiful light beams to find your seat here. And there are many different beings from different territories and galaxies and cosmoses and universes and celestial beings. Just feeling there's an air of anticipation. That this is a level of newness. That is part of this new expanded nature. And you sit in this council now. It is balancing the hemispheres of your brain, of your heart, of your chakras, of your mission. And you are told that there will be a very beautiful being of light that is going to be transmitting to you. That this will happen in divine alignment to your path and to your guidance into this 1212 gateway and through it. That will assist you to align to a greater sense of yourself, a greater sense of your purpose, into the anchoring of your mission on this new earth. That you are in the state of this new beginning. That in this time that we have here, we are bringing you to this position of recalling. And a beautiful gift is brought to you of either a diamond in your heart, a tiny MERKABA in your brow, or a Veskia Pisces in your hara. Take a deep breath in and choose, feel, receive, surrender. Beautiful. And just an honor that this is a process that is moving through you and helping you. Receiving this magnetizing and anchoring, as you may feel heavy now. And you begin streaming rays, beams of light, colored light, from the left hemisphere of your brain to the right to the left, from the masculine to the feminine to the masculine pillars. And this Metatronic tree of life begins to imprint and superimpose holographically, especially in your tailbone, your base, to leave its impression. To release all the samsara, suffering. The shadow, the miscreated, the misery. Breathing into this heightened, deepened, magnetized, expanded truth of the MERKABA, of the Father, the Mother, the Divine Child. The new enlightened masculine, in love with the enlightened feminine. The inner king, the inner queen. Breathing in new light, new love. These embers within you, growing into a great ray of light now that pulses from within you deeply in your heartbeat, your flame, with Mother Gaia, our champion. And we open these codes of divine light that in divine timing will access the key code of our next step. Mother Gaia's garden. Rihalu sung hua she sao no be ri u su shu shu ma tai he ma salu hele meke highly ke je. We salute you, we welcome you, bringing you home, we say, bringing you home to the bliss, the unity, the safety, the beauty. The gift of Gaia. We bless you. We love you. As we call in your beautiful heart flames, we return back now in a matter of a moment, walking down the gangplank out of this gorgeous ship with deep honor and respect and bowing our heads. We walk out backwards out of the ship because of the time. We walk double time backwards and into the beautiful Cape of Serapis Bay, bidding adieu to our dear new friends that we've known always, receiving many gifts that will continue to work within you. Find ourselves back in our own bodies, in our own temples, in our own homes, here on Facebook Live or YouTube, as a spiritual community. That is in the process of awakening. In a journey together, hand in hand, we go. We love you, we honor you, we see you, we are you. And we ask that you stay in tune with the things that we're doing, these SEER Ascension MERKABA future offerings. I'll put them on the Facebook. With Mother's Sonic Grace Solstice on 12/21. And then we'll be doing a transmission in the eclipse in Capricorn, the solar ring of fire on 12/25, freeing the divine masculine child. And I'll be putting a transmission also on the January 10th through 11th for the partial eclipse. It's in 2020, sacred marriage opening. And we'll be doing an intensive on January 4th, Visioning Your World 2020. And I'll begin teaching in January again with the Seership MERKABA of Insight for over 8 months. And I'll let you know more. And it will be on my website, www.anjahlia.com. And you can contact me with any questions or feedback. Blessed be. Blessed be. Blessed be. Namaste.